Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's at-home Pilates workout. In today's routine, we are going to be gently stretching and strengthening the muscles to relieve the symptoms of sciatica, hip stiffness, leg pain, and lower body discomfort. For some of the exercises, I'm going to be using a long resistance band. If you don't have one, you can simply use a regular belt or the belt of a bathrobe. Either one will work well. If at any point during any of the exercises or stretches you start to experience pain, please do listen to your body and take a step back. With that in mind, let's go ahead and get right into it. So I'm going to place my band off to the side of the mat, and I'm just going to get into position with my back down on the floor. So I'd like you to roll down slowly and with control. And we're just going to step the heels in toward the bum. We're going to move into a 4-point stretch to begin with here. So I'm going to cross my left leg over my right. And just from here, I'm just going to gently push my hand into my left thigh, just sort of turning that knee out a little bit. Just gently connecting my low back with the mat, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. If you feel good here, I'd like you to lift your right foot up off the floor and flex your left foot and your right foot, pulling the toes back toward the shin. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, pressing low back into the mat and lengthening through the spine, keeping tailbone in contact with the floor. Shoulders are relaxed. If you feel comfortable here, I'd like you to thread your hands on either side of your right thigh and just gently pull that right knee in toward the chest, deepening that stretch. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale, feeling that stretch in the glute, feeling it into the hips. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Last breath, and we'll release. Switching sides. Crossing your right leg over your left, gently pushing your palm into the thigh, turning that knee out, keeping the hips evenly weighted, feeling the stretch in the right hip here. You can stay like this, or if you feel comfortable to do so, you can lift those legs up and flex the feet, pulling the toes back toward the shins, keeping that lower back nice and long. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if it's comfortable for you to do so, interlace your fingers and just hug that knee in a little bit closer to the chest. Keeping the spine nice and relaxed here. And as we hug that knee in, we're encouraging that synovial fluid into the hip area. That's the fluid that lubricates the joints. Good. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to lower the legs down to the floor. We want our legs hip distance apart here, and we'd like to position the heels so that they're below the knees. Make sure that your feet are parallel here so your toes aren't turned in or out. From here, I'm going to place my hands on my hips. There should be a little bit of space between your low back and the mat. Your spine is in neutral. From that position, we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to tilt the pelvis back, pressing the low back into the floor, keeping the bum down on the mat. So from here, I'm going to inhale, and I'd like to arch the spine, creating a lot of space between the low back and the mat. And then as you exhale, tilt the pelvis back, pressing the low back into the floor. So inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, exaggerating the space between the low back and the mat. And then exhale, pressing the low back into the mat, lengthening the spine. Take a couple more of those pelvic tilts, moving on the breath. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Exhale, tilt the pelvis back. Moving at your own pace. Really tightening your abdominal wall down toward your spine as you tilt the pelvis back, pressing the low back into the mat. So as we lengthen the spine, creating that flat back, we're decompressing the lumbar spine, an area that can become compressed and pinched. Good. Inhale, tilt forward. Exhale, tilt back. Hold in your flat back position. Engage your core, belly to spine. And from here, we're just going to lift the hips a couple inches up off the floor and then lower down. Spine comes into neutral. Inhale. Exhale, tilt pelvis back, pressing low back into the mat, and lift a little bit higher if you can. Good. Lowering down. Let your spine come into neutral, then tilt that pelvis back, flat back, tuck your tailbone and lift. We're going to work our way up to bridge. Coming forward, tilting back, tucking the tailbone and lifting the hips. And I only want you to lift the hips as high as you feel comfortable. So I'm going to come all the way up into bridge now. But if that's too high, you can just do lower lifts each time as you lift up. So we're inhaling to lower, letting the spine come back into neutral, then tilting the pelvis back and lifting as we exhale. Only lifting as high as we can while maintaining that tucked tailbone. So keeping that length in the lumbar spine as we lift up. I want you to gently focus on contracting the back body. So gently squeezing the bum, engaging the hamstrings, gently strengthening the back body, which is really important for alleviating those sciatica symptoms. Good. Tilting that pelvis back, tucking the tailbone, and lifting. Good work. Shoulders are down away from your ears. Excellent. We've got 3. Engage the core as you lift up and breathe out for 2. Tucking the tailbone and lifting the hips. And last 1. Lift and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Amazing work. Stretch your legs out and use your hands to help you to come up into a seated position. Now, we're going to sit up nice and tall, stacking the vertebra one on top of the other, so we're really lengthened through the spine. Now we're going to stretch the legs out about mat distance apart. Now, if you're feeling like you're really slumping in the spine here with your legs stretched out, I want you to gently bend your knees. Or you can put a block under your bum or a book under your bum to help you find that length in the spine. We want the shoulders down away from the ears, the neck nice and long, and the chin parallel with the floor. Now I'd like you, even if your legs are bent, to really make sure that you're flexing your feet, pulling the toes back toward the shins. We're going to stretch the arms out long here. Inhale. And as we exhale, we're just going to hinge from the hip and reach forward, stretching. Deep inhale here. And exhale, pull belly to spine and roll each individual vertebra back up. So inhale, exhale, fold and stretch. Inhale. And as you exhale, plug belly in toward the spine and restack the vertebra. Good. Inhale and exhale, reaching and stretching forward. And then restacking the vertebra, engaging the core as you lift. So we're stretching through the hamstrings here and lengthening through the spine. Tight hamstrings can make sciatica even worse, so it's a great idea to keep those hamstrings long and strong. Reach a bit further each time, challenge yourself, and then engage the core and rebuild through the spine as you sit up. Last 2. Reach a bit further. Keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. Last 1. Give it all you've got. Reach, reach, reach. And then restack the vertebra. Nicely done. From here, I'm going to take a hold of my band, so bring it with you. Use your hands to help you to come all the way down to the mat, and we're going to continue to stretch those hamstrings. So we're going to place the band or your belt on the bottom of your right foot, gripping hold of it in your fists. We want to set ourselves up so we're nice and evenly weighted across the hips. The shoulders are down away from the ears, relaxed. We're going to inhale, knee is bent, and as we exhale, we're going to stretch the leg up and gently pull it back toward the chest. Inhale, bend at the knee. Exhale, push the leg up, straightening it and pulling it back toward the chest. Inhale, bend. Exhale, stretch and lengthen. So we're actively stretching the hamstrings. We're addressing some of that inflammation in the body. Breathing in through the nose to bend. And as we exhale, we're gently pulling the leg back toward us a little bit closer in toward the chest each time. Make sure that that leg is fully stretched and elongated as you push up through the heel. Good work. Last one. Bend and extend. Now from here, you might need to loosen your band on the grip, or loosen your grip on the band a little bit, moving your hands further down. We're going to move into some leg circles. Now for these leg circles, it's important that we keep our hips evenly weighted. So I would like you to sweep your right leg past your left leg, circle down, around, and up, and pause at the starting point. Sweep that right leg past the left leg, circle down, around, and up, and stop at the starting point. So again, if you need to adjust your grip on the band, making it looser, please do so. You want to keep the leg as straight as possible here, although if you can't get it totally straight, a gentle bend is fine. Inhale, sweep the leg past the other leg, and then down, around, and up. Now I want you to look at that left knee. Imagine you've got a glass of water or a teacup balanced on that knee, and you're trying not to let it spill. We're focusing on our hip stability here, so we don't want that knee swaying around. And if it is, do a smaller range of movement, a smaller circle as you come up and around. Good, now we're going to reverse direction. So we're going to take the leg away from the body, down, sweep past bent knee, and back to the starting point. Repeat. Good. And again, really lubricating the hip joint as we come down and around. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, and really focusing on that hip and pelvic stability, engaging the core to help you do that. And last circle, circling down, around, and up, and bending at the knee, releasing the band and taking it over to the other side. Amazing work. Take the band on the bottom of the left foot. We're going to bend and extend, stretching the hamstring. Bend and extend, gently pulling the leg back toward the chest, getting a nice deep stretch. Bend and extend, breathing out. Inhale and exhale, deepening the stretch each time. And last one. From this position, we're going to go into our leg circles. So hips are evenly weighted as we sweep the left leg past the right, circling down and around and pausing at the start point. Maybe moving your hands down the band if need be. Circle down, around, and pause at the start point. Having a look at that right knee, making sure it is still and stable. Slowing down or decreasing the range of movement if needed. Good. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as you come up and around to pause on that starting point. Good. Last one in this direction and pause. And then take it down and away from the body, circle past bent knee and pause. Take the leg away from the body, circle around and pause. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Engaging those lower abs. Good. Focusing on that pelvic stability and keeping your low back connected with the mat. Last one, circle down, around and up, and bend and release the band. Amazing work. Now from here, we're going to bring the right knee in toward the chest. I'm going to take my right hand around my right shin, and the left hand is just going to come right under the knee. So I'm holding my leg in the frame of the body. What we don't want here is the leg coming out to the side or the knee knocking in toward the midline of the body. You want your ankle, knee, and hip aligned. Really important here as we stretch the leg in. From here, I'm going to extend my opposite leg up high toward the ceiling. Again, if you need a gentle bend, that's fine. We're going to inhale to prepare. And as we exhale, we're going to hug that right knee in close and then switch legs. Hugging left knee in close toward the chest. Inhale to switch. Exhale, pull your belly button down toward your spine as you stretch knee in toward you. Now, if this is comfortable for you and you feel like you could step up the level of challenge, I want you to take your elongated leg out at a lower angle. So bring it out to 45 degrees as you draw the other knee in. So right now we're stretching into the hip and we're also contracting the abs, working the core. If you'd like to step up the level of challenge even more, I'd like you to lift head, neck, and shoulders up, resting the head on top of your shoulders. Good. Working that core strength now. So building and maintaining a strong core can help alleviate and prevent sciatica symptoms. Good. Keeping the legs in the frame of the body. As you breathe out, pulling belly to spine, stretching the knee in toward the armpit. We've got 6 and 5 for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring both knees in toward your chest. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Lower feet down to the floor. And from here, we're going to go into a modified crisscross to work the obliques and the upper abdominals. So I'm going to interlace my fingers behind my head. The spine is in neutral right now. I'm going to inhale to prepare, and as I exhale, we're going to compress the abdominal wall in toward the spine, press low back into the mat, and cross one elbow over to the knee. Good. Lower, we're switching sides, moving elbow to opposite knee. As we press the low back into the mat. Now I want you to really keep your hips evenly weighted here. So as I cross my left elbow toward my right knee, I'm making sure I'm not lifting the hip up off the floor. Good. So keeping the low back pressing into the mat, making this rotation happen around the rib cage so that we're really targeting that waistline, the obliques, shortening the distance between the bottom of the rib cage and the hip as we switch from side to side. Strengthening the obliques can really help. Maintain proper alignment of the hips. Good. Moving from side to side. Now, if you're feeling strong here and you want to step it up, you can go into the full version of crisscross. Extending one leg out in a diagonal as you bring elbow toward opposite knee. Keep those elbows nice and wide. The head rests heavy in the hands, so we're not pulling head, neck, and shoulders up. We've got 4, 3, keeping the low back in contact with the floor for 2, and 1. Amazing work. Lower down. Bring your right hand over your right knee, left hand over your left knee, and just circle the knees in opposite directions, massaging your low back on the mat. Nice work. Now lower feet to the floor. From here, we're going to cross the left leg over the right, just like you were sitting cross-legged in a chair. Then from here, I'm going to stretch the left leg out long. Try to straighten the leg if you can. I'm going to take hold of behind the left thigh. So my left leg is out on a diagonal, but I'm trying not to let my left hip lift off the floor too much. Now from here, we're going to flex the foot, pulling the toes back toward the shin and point. Flex and point. So really targeting stiffness in the hips and the legs here. Good. By flexing and pointing, you're increasing your blood flow, your flexibility. Good. Pulling toes back and pointing. Alleviating inflammation. Stretching and lengthening through that heel, and then stretching and lengthening through the toes. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Good. Inhale and exhale. Breathe through it. I know this one can be challenging. We've got 3 and 2 and last 1. Point and cross the leg back over. Now from here, keeping the legs crossed, I'm going to bring my arms into a cactus shape, or you can have your arms outstretched into a T shape, both shoulders evenly weighted on the floor, and I'm just going to bring the knees over to the right, trying to keep that left shoulder down on the floor, stretching and lengthening, getting a nice rotation in the spine, and also feeling this stretch into the glutes here. If you want to deepen the stretch, I'd like you to lift your knees a little bit higher up towards your armpit. Breathing into it. In through the nose and out through the mouth for 3 and 2 and 1. Bring your legs back to center. Uncross your legs. Cross your right leg over your left. And then stretch the right leg out on a diagonal, taking hold just behind the thigh. Moving into that flex and point. Now it might feel really different on one side. This is definitely my tighter side, and I can feel this running all the way from my calf, all the way through my thigh and into those hips. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you flex and point, again, trying to keep your body as relaxed as possible here. The breathing really helps with that. Nice, slow, controlled breath. For 3 and 2, really pull toes back toward the shin. And 1, flex and point. Cross your legs. Bring your arms out to the side, either in cactus or a T shape, and then fold over to the left. Keeping the right shoulder down on the mat. Enjoying the spine twist here. Bringing knees up a little higher toward the armpit if that feels comfortable, deepening the stretch. Holding for 3 and 2 and 1. Amazing work. Gently come back to center. And from here, we're going to come onto the side body to work through some side body exercises. So we're going to stretch out nice and long with the edge of the mat. You can prop yourself up on your hand like so, or on your outstretched arm, whatever's more comfortable for the neck. From here, I'm going to place opposite hand down on the mat for support. I'm going to pick my legs up and bring them slightly forward so that your lower body is in a pike position. You want your upper body in line with the edge of your mat. From here, we're going to point the toes, lift the top leg, and then flex to lower. Stretch and lengthen through the toe and then flex to lower. Don't worry about if you get up as high as I'm getting. You can do a lower leg lift. I just really want you to focus on length. So really straightening the leg, lifting up, little opening of the hip here, and then flexing, pulling your toes back towards your shin to lower. Inhale up and exhale down, creating length all the way up the leg. And if you're losing stability, so you're really rocking around a lot, I want you to bend that lower leg. That can give you a greater base of support. Inhale to come up. Exhale, engage the core as you lower and challenge yourself by isolating this work in the lower body. Again, really lubricating and mobilizing the hip joint. As we come up, we're also strengthening the gluteus medius muscles and the deep stabilizing muscles in the hip. All really important for lower body strength, alignment, and flexibility. Good. In through the nose and out through the mouth. We've got 3. Relax those shoulders. For 2. And last 1. And lower down. Nice work. Now I'm going to stretch my legs out long. I'm going to slide my right leg up, bending the knee, and then stretch. Lower the leg down. Slide, keeping that knee lifted and open, and then stretch. Lower, slide, and lift. This is a great exercise for sciatica relief. You're stretching and lengthening, and again, you're really mobilizing those hips. Your aim here is, again, to keep your torso really still and stable. And again, if you can't lift your leg as high, that's perfectly fine. Just focus on the lengthening of that leg. So get a really nice stretch and then lower down. Slide up, lift, and lower down. Now we're going to reverse. We're going to lift the leg, bend, slide the foot down, and lift. Bend, slide, and lengthen. Bend, slide, lift and stretch, and bend. Good work. Slow it down if you need to. Keep focusing on your breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We've got 2 more. Relax those shoulders. Keep the toes pointed. And slide together. Amazing work. Now from here, we're going to do the other side. So I'd like you to come over onto the opposite side. Get nice and comfortable here on your side. Stacking the hips, knees, and ankles. Hand comes down onto the mat. Then we're going to hinge forward at the hip into that pike position. Lifting up with a pointed toe, flexing and lowering. Lifting, relaxing those shoulders, engaging the core as we flex and breathe out to lower. Inhale up, exhale down. Really focusing on lengthening through the neck as well, so you don't want it to kind of be really compressing in the shoulders and the neck. Sometimes we have a tendency to do that when we are strengthening and working the lower body. Try to resist that. Inhale and exhale, flex and lower. Remember, you can bend that lower leg if you need a little bit more stability. And we're focusing on lengthening through the toe on the way up and lengthening through the heel on the way down. Amazing work. Good. Lift and flex to lower. Lift and really pull the toes back toward the shin to lower. We've got 3. Moving with control and fluidity. And last 1. And lower down, legs together. Toes pointed, belly pulled in toward the spine. Lift and stretch. Lower with control. Slide the toe up and stretch. So as you bend, keep that knee nice and lifted and open. Good. And stretch. This is a really slow, controlled movement. We're getting that full extension before we lower the leg down. We've got 2. Relax that neck and those shoulders. And 1. Good work. Now, we're coming up, bending and sliding. Lift, bend and slide. Lift, bend and slide. Belly to spine. Working through it with the breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Working those hips and glutes as well as the thighs. Pointing and lengthening out through the big toe as you lift, bend, and slide. We've got 3, 2, abs in, last 1, amazing work. Now from here, we're going to roll over onto our stomachs and we're going to do a couple of really amazing stretches to finish off. So I'd like you to bring your right leg up toward your armpit. The knee is bent. And we're going to take our hands on either side of our shoulders here. I really want you to take a moment here to lengthen out through your spine. So my chest is slightly lifted, the gaze is down on the mat. I'm going to inhale here. And as I exhale, I'm just going to press into the mat and lift the chest, stretching and lengthening through the spine, being careful not to lift up so high that I'm compressing in the low back. Lowering, inhale, and exhale to lift. Now, if this feels really uncomfortable for you and it's causing pain, you can either just lay flat like this without lifting and lowering, or if it's really uncomfortable for you to have your leg like that, I just want you to move into some cobra stretches like so, focusing on lengthening through the spine. But if you can, keep that leg where it is, and we'll work through 3 more. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift, lengthen through the spine, open through the hip. And last 1. And lower down. Amazing work. Now from here, I'm going to do the same on the opposite side. You might feel like you could do it on one side and the other side is more painful. I want you to listen to your body here and not push it if it's too painful. Inhale here and exhale to lift. Ooh, feel that stretch. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Keeping those shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale and exhale. Good work. Last 2. And final 1. And slide your leg down the mat. From here, we're going to come onto the knees. We're going to sink back onto the knees, round through the spine, And maintain that rounding of the spine. So we're not bringing the forehead all the way down. I want you to really kind of sink your tailbone back toward your heels. Then from here, we're going to walk the right hand over to the right side and cover it with the left hand. And you can just slide kind of and sink down into that left hip, feeling the stretch run through the side body. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale, sink a little bit further into that left hip. For 3 and 2 and 1. Back to center. Really round through the spine, sinking back onto those hips. Walk the left hand over to the left side and cover it with the right hand, and just let that right hip sort of slide to the side, feeling a stretch running through the side body. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale. Last breath. And exhale back to center and ripple up through the spine. Roll your shoulders down and back. From here, we're going to come back down onto our backs. I'm going to keep my band handy because we're going to be using it in just a moment, so make sure it is close to you. I'm going to lower down and just bring the spine into neutral, so you've got that little space between your low back and the mat, and then bring the soles of the feet together. Just take a moment here to let your knees splay out to the side and enjoy that sort of gentle opening in the hip area. If it's comfortable, you can bring the heels a little bit closer toward the body. And just kind of let the weight of your legs, let the diamond shape kind of fall open. Breathing deeply here, relaxing the shoulders. Now, if this is comfortable and you want to step it up a little bit to deepen the stretch, I'd like you to bring your feet in. You can take hold of the sides of your feet and just gently pull the feet in toward the midline of the body, pressing your low back into the mat. I love this as a hip opener, and it also really stretches and elongates the lumbar spine, combating any compression or pinching in that area of the body. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, and gently release. Now from here, this is probably one of my favorite stretches for sciatica. I'd like you to cross your right leg over your left and then just bring your knees in towards your chest. Now this might be enough for you right here, or if you want to deepen the stretch slightly, I'd like you to take hold of your shins. Again, I want you to really focus on elongating through your lower back, keeping your tailbone in contact with the mat. You should feel this deep into the glutes as well. And if you want to deepen the stretch further, you can take hold of the outside of your feet. So you're kind of like a pretzel in this position. You might find that your tailbone lifts off the mat, but it feels good. So I just want you to kind of find a position within this stretch that works for you. So whether it be holding on to the shins or the outside of the feet for a really deep stretch, just listening to your body, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Last breath here. And release. Now we're going to cross the left leg over the right. Bring the knees in. This might be good for you here. Or you take a hold of your shins, just hugging the knees in a little bit closer towards you. And if you want to deepen it that little bit more, hold on to the outsides of the feet and just pull those knees in towards you, creating a little pretzel with the body. This is probably one of my favorite deep glute stretches. It really stretches the gluteus medius, which can become really tight and can be a difficult muscle to stretch effectively. Last breath here, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Gently uncross your legs. We're going to finish off with a hamstring stretch. Find the bottom of find the center of your belt or band. Place it around the bottom of your right foot. From here, I would like you to stretch the leg, even if you're only here. I want you to make sure your leg at whatever stage in your stretch you're at is completely straight. So flex the foot as much as you can, straighten the leg as much as possible, breathe in through the nose, and as you exhale, you're just going to take the leg and just bring it out toward the side of the body. So just let the weight of that leg kind of draw the leg down toward the mat, trying not to lift your opposite hip up off the floor, and just feeling that stretch run all the way up the inside of the leg. Again, opening the hip, stretching the thigh. Deep inhale here, and as you exhale, I might need to move over so I've got more space. I'd like you to take the leg over, cross it over the body. You probably need to lengthen that opposite leg so it creates space. And again, just letting the weight of that leg take the right leg over to the left side. Now you should feel that sort of all into your IT band, really stretching the side of the thigh and into the glutes and into the hip. You can feel this in the calves as well. You can flex your foot and feel it sort of in different areas of the lower leg. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then back to center. Nicely done. Bend the leg, release, and switch your feet in the band. Use your hands to help you if you need. Now, I'm going to have to move right over so I have enough space. I'm going to inhale, keeping the hips evenly weighted, and exhale, just bring that band or that leg over to the left side. Letting the weight of that leg just gently draw the leg closer down toward the floor with every breath. Keeping those shoulders relaxed, even though you're holding the band securely. For 3, and 2, and 1. Bring the leg to center. And then take a nice deep inhale, straighten out the opposite leg, and just let that leg fall over to the right side of the body. I'm flexing the foot here. It really intensifies the stretch. Breathing deeply into those tight and painful areas. For 3, and 2, and 1. Back to center, bend at the knee, release the band. We're going to take our hands behind our thighs and roll up to a seated position. You can turn facing me. I'm going to lift my shoulders up by my ears, inhale, and exhale, roll them down and back. Let's take another lift, melting away tension. Last one, lift your shoulders up and melt them down and back. Amazing work. I hope you're feeling a little looser in your lower body. I hope that your back is feeling good, and I hope that you're feeling strong and well stretched. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to moving again with you next time.